let everyone know at the outset again that we're going to be recording this meeting. We'll be posting it either on the Facebook or the county website afterwards, or both probably. We want this to be, well, we want this to be helpful to you, but I also hope it goes quickly. I want to be respectful of your time, but feel free to ask questions throughout. Just want to do the hand raise feature. It's in the reactions button, which is in the bottom right of your Zoom screen. I see everyone is muted right now. If you could just keep that mute button on unless you want to ask a question. I think that could make this meeting go even more smoothly. That all being said, thank you again for joining. Obviously, I'm William Pearson with Cheshire County. We're hosting this meeting because one of the county's initiatives with the American Rescue Plan dollars that we received is to be sending $1 million of those dollars proportionally back to the Cheshire County municipalities, the city of Keene. Those rates, I can read them off, but I'll save us all the time. I can also provide that as a document in a follow-up email to everyone on this call. And in fact, that's probably what I'll do. But again, the 23 municipalities will be receiving checks from Cheshire County in amounts proportional to their tax contribution in the most recent tax assessment. Now, in order for us to make those transfers, the county needs to get some assurances from the towns, just like what the federal government and the state of New Hampshire needed to do in order to distribute to you all the your direct payments of the American Rescue Plan dollars. In fact, you'll probably, if you've seen the contract or if you've looked over the contract that I sent out last week, you'll probably be familiar with most of the terms in the language. Indeed, most of it was lifted from that very contract that the state and Department of Treasury used to effectuate that transfer. So, I mean, obviously, so the language has changed in many instances from being the Department of Treasury or the state of New Hampshire to being Cheshire County, but the provisions and the terms and conditions are largely the same. I don't think I've changed any of them substantively. It's really just asking that you're going to comply with all of the federal regulations, be they the Civil Rights Act or the Age Discrimination Act. We need to have those assurances on file that with these monies, you'll be complying with those federal laws. I think it will also be repetitive to you to learn that the money we're going to be sending, the money that you'll receive from Cheshire County, has the exact same strings attached to it as the money that you received from the state of New Hampshire through the Gopher program. These are all ARPA dollars, and while this is technically an intergovernmental transfer from Cheshire County instead of a direct payment from the Department of Treasury, the same sort of requirements and if you want to call them hurdles, they still apply to these funds as well. So any familiarity you have with the American Rescue Plan right now will serve you well with spending these monies as well. That being said, I just want to make sure that there are no questions about the contract so far, or if anyone's had trouble accessing it or seeing it, please let me know. I guess one of the important things to say about it is the deadline for Cheshire County to receive this contract, this executed contract back, is December 31st of 2021. That is the calendar year for which this budget cycle falls under, for which these budget decisions were made. So we're hoping to get these, honestly, we're hoping to have executed agreements back sooner so that we can write checks to send to your municipalities as soon as possible. So we'll take these either through email, if they've if you have a digital signature you'd like to affix to them and send it to our email addresses, we'll accept them that way. We'll also accept them mailed to the to Cheshire County here at 12 Court Street here in Keene. As long as they arrive to us on or before December 31st, 2024. And again, the sooner the better, because it would allow us to write the checks and send them your way. I do want to also say, that we sent out a contract last Friday that was in error, and we did send out another one. The contract sent out last Friday includes lines for you to put bank routing information, um, that sort of stuff at the end of the contract. We would ask that you don't use that contract. We'd ask that you use the second contract that I sent out. All of that bank account information is, well, I don't think we need to look far into the history to see how the town of Peterborough experienced cyber criminality, and we don't want any Cheshire County communities to experience the same. So that was my error to ask for that on a non-encrypted channel. That being said, the signature itself is not well, it's not protected or personally identifiable information that you need to worry about. So the contract that we resent out just asks for your signature, the date, and your name, and it does have lines at the top for you to put which municipality you're representing. So that all being said, I'm sorry to have the logistics kind of get in the way of what I genuinely think is a good thing. We've had a lot of conversations in Cheshire County about ways that we can help the municipalities either with the storm damage or the COVID-19 negative economic impacts. And this is, I think, the most general, easiest way that we can get these monies back to the community. I will comment right now that the recent flooding, the recent storm damages that we experienced, these monies can go toward remediation efforts surrounding those storms. So that should help as well. And again, that's all the same as the regular ARPA dollars that you've already received. These are the same sorts of requirements. So with that, I think I can open it up to questions. I think I've said, oh, Chris, did you want to add one more thing or a couple things?
Just a few things real quickly. First, thank you for taking the time to be on the call. We want to make sure that any questions you may have are answered so that you can get that document into us so we can turn around and get the check out as fast as possible. It took us a while to get the document put together to meet the standards of what the Treasury wanted from us. And so when we sent that out to you, we thought it would be good to follow up. So if there are any questions, we get that done. But I quickly want to make a few things known. One is the Cheshire County's budget that we sent up to the Department of Revenue Administration this year is a zero increase from Cheshire County. If everyone knows that a zero increase does not mean you'll be impacted with a zero increase, from the county, but because of the formula that they use up the Department of Revenue up there. But that's one, is that 2021's budget increase from the year prior is a 0% increase. Two is that the county delegation and commissioners really worked hard and agreed with the plans that we came up with. So yes, we're sending $1 million back to the town and the town to 22 towns in the city of Keene. And then we're utilizing 2.3 million. We have a 4.7 million energy update project, and we're utilizing 2.3 million to shave off that so that we don't have to carry that. So that's a savings too. We're utilizing $1,500,000 each for nonprofits and small businesses so that they can apply by the 24th if they need help of grants up to $20,000. And it's actually, it's a good number in so far, and we're excited to see that. We did a concert series in 7 towns in Cheshire County, and we'll hopefully continue that next year too. And that we did have some overruns at the nursing home due directly only to COVID. So we used a 1.1 million to offset that because we had to put up walls. We had delays because workers couldn't go into certain areas because of the restrictions from the Center for Medicaid Services. And then last but not least, we did raise the minimum wage for employees in Cheshire County to $15. The impact of that this year is $750,000. Next year, it is a total in a year's time of 1.5 million increase. With that said, what I told the commissioners and the delegation is I do not want to see at the end of ARPA monies a cliff of 1.5 million drop off. And what we are doing is every year over the next 4 years, we're setting aside $375,000. We're putting that into the budget. We're owning $375,000 a year of that money, so that when we get to the 4th year, it will be zero. I will also tell you that over the last 4 years, we've worked hard to not just rely on the tax base, but to increase revenues in Cheshire County and with other revenue streams. And we have been able to do that to a tone of about just under $3 million. That are, some of it is year to year, but there will always be something, but the number could fluctuate, and some of them will be consistent moving forward. So I just wanted to give you that update. And then last but not least, in May, we will get the second monies funding from the Treasury of about $7.4 million. And at that point, we'll look at what we need to do. And we've already have some ideas on how we're going to do that. So just wanted to give you an update since I had you all here. But the big reason today is we just want to answer any questions you may have. If there's no questions, we'll get off the line. You guys can get the forms in and we'll get the checks out to you as soon as possible. So thank you for your time.
Right. And thank you, Chris. I probably should have started the meeting with that because it's such a great overview. Just two things before I take admin one's question. The first thing is we received the first tranche of ARPA monies in June, and we're going to receive the second tranche no sooner than 12 months from that. So it may be dispensed in May. I would expect we wouldn't see them sooner than June, maybe July, but I just want to set the expectation that if we don't have them by May, that may be all according to plan.
It's the federal government.
Right. Yeah, and the other thing that I wanted to flag is Chris mentioned the Pandemic Emergency Relief Fund, which is the $1 million we've set aside for nonprofits and small businesses. I did put a link to that in the chat. So if you are familiar with small businesses or nonprofits in your town, your city of Keene, send them that link. We're accepting applications until the 24th of September. So one week left. And from the anecdotal evidence I've received, the applications aren't hard. The hardest part is working out the fillable PDF form, but otherwise they're short and hopefully we'll see some more in the coming week. Admin one, I'm not sure what town you're from, but you've got the stage.
Okay.
Yes, that's you.
Our internet really, internet is terrible here. My computer always says admin one and I can't change it. I don't know why. Anyway, I'm Mark Funk, Roxbury. So I had a couple of questions. First, just that in our town, we will need to document where we're spending the money, I assume. So whether that could be in our minutes or wherever we do it, that the monies that we get, we should have done that with the previous 11,000, I assume, which we haven't done, but we should document that. Also, I have a question. You will send how much the town is receiving. I guess you'll send that to us. And I did send in a contract. Will you notify us that you got the contract? So that would be the other thing, because I just sent that in yesterday. And then I wasn't sure what Chris was talking about, the $20,000 grants. So I wasn't sure what we would be applying for that or how to apply for that. And the other grant too, you were just talking about. So
those are
same. My questions.
Okay, so I'll back up to the first one. I think I can remember it. Yes, document everything. It's all about records, and we do in this contract. Once you read through it, you'll see that we do require you to maintain your records for a period of 5 years after the last fund was expended from this award. So yes, document everything. The second, or maybe it was the third question, I might be forgetting the second, but please, just nudge me if I've forgotten. You were talking about sending the contracts to the county. I'm not entirely sure what contract you're talking about yesterday. It might be something unrelated to what I'm working on, but for every contract that I've received, every application for the Emergency Relief Fund, which is part of question 4 that we'll get to, but every contract that I've received, I do reply with with a receipt email indicating the date that we received it, and yes, we did receive it. And if there's anything else we need, I usually indicate that in that follow-up email. So yeah, any contracts that are returned to Cheshire County you'll be notified. I don't necessarily know if you hand deliver us a contract. I suppose I could write out a receipt and give it to you. So yeah, we'll indicate that as much. The other thing, I guess, question 4 or maybe 5, you were asking about these grant programs that the Emergency Relief Fund. That's what I'll use the nomenclature that we've established. It's the Pandemic Emergency Relief Fund. It's just one grant that small businesses or nonprofits can access. It's up to $20,000. And it's to offset pandemic-related negative economic impacts. This isn't something that we've made available for the municipalities. So I'm sorry if you're a town that wants to try to apply to this, we're going to reject you. Don't waste the time with the form. Despite how easy it is to fill out, don't waste your time. Really, the $1 million that we're sending to the municipalities through the checks, through what we're talking about today, is really how the county is addressing that. We're taking care of small businesses and nonprofits through the Emergency Relief Fund, which I would hope that as town administrators, you're aware of the nonprofits or the small businesses in your community that might need this. You can at least forward this information on to them so that they can send in their applications to us. We've received in the ballpark of around 25 so far. The split between nonprofits and small businesses slightly favors nonprofits. We don't have a hard deadline of how many we'll accept, but I will say that the more we receive, if we receive applicants in an amount and the requesting amounts more than what the fund can provide, we're going to prorate the amounts that we're giving out to applicants based off of that. We're not at that bridge yet because we still don't. All of the applicants, even aggregated together, don't equal the $1 million we've set aside. But I just wanted to let that be known that within the next week, if we're inundated with 50 applicants all asking for $20,000, we'll likely have to award, if they're all eligible, we'll likely have to award them slightly less than what they've asked for.
The contract was the one that you just sent out, and you were just indicating the end of this email. That was the contract I was talking about. That had to do with all the federal government stuff. And
right, yeah.
I had queried you about how to fill it out, whether it was who was the recipient and so forth. That was what I was talking about. That, and I assume that's the $1 million or so that you're going to distribute.
Right, and I think
towns.
Question 2 was you kind of asked how much Roxbury was going to be receiving. I think the amount that we were able to get for Roxbury, just making sure the line is the same, it's $3,374.15. So that's based off of property tax that's from the $1 million based off of property tax contribution. And yeah, per your question yesterday, you put the town of Roxbury as the recipient, and you put your contact information if you're it's going to be the best contact for me to reach out to. And you have been so far, so I would expect that. If there are no other questions, I'm happy to either take additional questions offline, wrap up this meeting, and we will be posting this online. I just wanted to, as Chris said, we wanted to have the chance to interface with everyone, let everyone know what we're doing with these funds, at least for this calendar year. Let everyone know that you have the contracts now. Now the ball's in your court. Just quickly, volley it back to us so we can write out these checks and get them out to you. And I think Chris has one more thing. I'll let Chris bookend this.
Just one more thing, and then I'm going to ask you to do something too.
Sure.
And that is, as you move forward with all this monies and other monies that may come available, we'll try to keep ahead of the learning curve as best we can. We also have a grant writing team here that can try to answer questions, and our Director of Finance, Cheryl Trombley, is more than willing to do that too. So we will try to help you and answer any questions we have, whether it's about this issue or anything else. I think it's important to, that we tried to be here since the pandemic had started, to be a support for you, and we're going to continue to do that. We'll continue to have Zooms. We had a cybersecurity meeting, forum last week that was well attended, and we'll continue to offer up those as we move forward. But we just want you to know that if there's a question that comes up that you just don't know the answer, you can look to start with Will. If Will doesn't know it, he'll turn to myself and Cheryl or our grants director to see if we'll look to Senator Shaheen's office and see if we can get the answer there, or Senator Hassan's. So thank you very much, and now introduce.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah, there's a little bit of a changing of the guards that's going to be happening here in the next week. And you've probably see Davis Bernstein on screen right here. He's been working hand in glove with me on all of these ARPA initiatives so far. He just graduated Keene State this year, and he's starting a graduate program at Dartmouth. But we were able to entice him enough to stay here with Cheshire County and continue working on the ARPA plan. I'm staying in Keene, but I'm moving on to Wyatt and Associates, which is a law firm here in the area. But Davis, again, has been working very intimately with these processes. He knows the act well. I just wanted to give him a chance, since he'll be probably your contact going forward. I wanted to give him a chance to introduce himself a little bit and you to obviously see what he looks like. So Davis, thank you.
Well, it's good to meet you all again. I think I've talked to most of you over the phone, so I'm happy to take a phone call anytime, or correspond with you over email about any questions you have, because I'm always happy to talk about ARPA, so that's always good. But I look forward to working with you all, and thanks for coming today.
Great. Thank you guys so much. I'll follow up again with an email, just with a couple of the points that we talked about. It'll have Davis's contact info for sure, and it'll have the distributions that we determined for the towns. So look for that email. Please send me back these contracts as soon as you can, and we're looking forward to writing these checks. So thanks again, and I'm sure we'll be in touch. Take care, guys.